A great ancient warrior named Nagdan dedicated his life to fighting evil. He united the tribes of men and buried a terrible machine from outer space deep underground. While on the surface, the machine turned people into mutants. Watching them suffer was painful for Nagdan. With great difficulty and heavy losses, his army managed to defeat the mutants. After that, the great warrior and his followers formed a brotherhood, vowing to ensure the machine was never found, so the horror wouldn't return. But Nagdan had no idea his efforts would be in vain. Hundreds of years passed, and by the year 2707, people had forgotten about the machine. The world was now controlled by 4 corporations, the most powerful being Capital and Bauhaus, locked in endless wars over natural resources. Bauhaus was preparing another attack on the Capital army, but no one realized what was about to happen. Capital soldiers sat in a trench under pouring rain as Bauhaus bombarded them with artillery. Lieutenant Maximilian von Steiner, the Bauhaus commander, ordered his men to prepare for a full assault to destroy the enemy. Meanwhile, Capital platoon commander Captain Nathan Rucker urged his men to stay brave, but morale was low. The trenches were filled with wounded and fallen soldiers. Sergeant Mitch Hunter collected their dog tags to honor their memory. He reported to Nathan about the enemy's heavy weaponry. Looking through binoculars, Nathan confirmed that the attack had begun. The men took a final drink for courage, unsure of what they were even fighting for. No one had much loyalty to the corporations. Capital fired a massive cannon at the Bauhaus army. The explosion cracked the lid of the dungeon where the malevolent machine was buried, but no one noticed. Bauhaus retaliated with grenades and poison gas, which seeped into Capital's trenches. Many soldiers failed to put on their gas masks in time and were poisoned. Then the Bauhaus stormtroopers charged in, taking Capital casualties. Nathan saved Hunter's life, but was wounded in the process. The fierce battle continued, and another explosion caused the dungeon's roof to collapse. No one realized the danger lurking below. Then, something humanoid crawled out of the hole. It moved with terrifying speed, attacking a soldier. Behind it, more creatures emerged, swarming into the Capital trench, brutally slaughtering soldiers. Nathan and Hunter survived, but they assumed the Bauhaus soldiers had committed the massacre. As Nathan emerged from the trench, he faced Steiner, and both men blamed each other. But as their soldiers prepared for another clash, more mutants erupted from the ground. Just then, an evacuation plane arrived. Someone had to cover the retreat. Nathan took the machine gun and gunned down as many mutants as he could until he ran out of ammo. Hunter managed to carry Jesus to the plane, but Nathan couldn't reach them in time. Left alone, he faced the mutants in a final stand. News of the mutant attack reached the Order of Nagdan. Their leader, Brother Samuel, and a nun named Severian entered the monastery's secret chamber, where the ancient book, the Chronicles of Mutants, was kept. Written by Nagdan himself, it revealed how to destroy the evil machine. The book described how mutants brought wounded and dead bodies to the machine, which transformed them into monsters. No army could defeat them. But the Chronicles prophesied a chosen one who would walk Nagdan's path and destroy the machine. Samuel met with the heads of all corporations. The situation was dire. Mutants had taken over major cities. The Capital's leader, Constantine, ordered the evacuation of humanity into space. But Samuel warned that not everyone could be saved. Those left behind would turn into mutants who wouldn't stop at Earth. They would follow them into space. The monk insisted they fight. He proposed a mission to infiltrate underground and destroy the machine. The authorities hesitated. Meanwhile, life in the cities became unbearable. Evacuating everyone was impossible. Even saving all the women and children was unlikely. Samuel spoke privately with Constantine. The governor, too sick to flee to Mars, decided to help the monk. He gave him a ship and evacuation tickets to recruit soldiers for the mission. The tickets would allow them to save their families. As Samuel left, mutants burst into Constantine's chamber. The governor faced his fate with courage, but these were his last moments. Meanwhile, Hunter visited Nathan's family. Breaking the news to Nathan's wife was difficult. She broke down, unsure how she and her daughter would survive. They had no evacuation tickets. Hunter tried to comfort her, but could do nothing. That evening, he drank at a bar, dipping the dog tags of his fallen comrades into whiskey. Samuel approached him and offered him a chance to save humanity. Hunter, disillusioned with mankind, refused, until the monk handed him evacuation tickets. Now, he had a way to save Nathan's family. The next morning, Nathan's wife prepared a poison for herself and her daughter, choosing a painless death over becoming mutants. Just then, Hunter arrived with the tickets. The family rejoiced they were saved. Samuel gathered a team of elite warriors: the jovial Jesus, noble Captain Maguire, brave Valerie Duval, fearless Kim Woo, Bauhaus officer Steiner, the silent nun Severian, and Hunter. At the briefing, the Brotherhood explained their mission. The monks gave them a bomb to place at the machine center. But no one knew where the activation key was. If they failed, all of humanity would perish. Samuel believed he was the chosen one meant to plant the bomb. But he had no idea he might be wrong. The team still didn't fully understand how to fight the mutants. Steiner led them to a captured creature. To kill it, they had to use a phosphorus bomb, machine gun fire, or a well-aimed sword strike. Severian demonstrated by executing the mutant. As it died, Hunter swore he saw it momentarily turn human. The warriors prepared to leave. Samuel prayed. Severian donned her battle robe, and the rest got drunk. They boarded the steampunk-powered ship and took off. During the flight, suddenly, the captain spotted an incoming civilian ship, but it didn't respond to hails. The reason was soon clear: mutants had hijacked it. They opened fire, hitting the team's ship. The crew was forced into the escape pod. They detached and deployed a parachute, but it tore under the weight. The capsule plummeted, crashing through a skyscraper before landing in a field. Everyone survived, except Maguire, impaled by shrapnel. He couldn't be saved. Hunter comforted him, leaving him a grenade before the team moved on. Maguire used it. The team carefully navigated a mutant-occupied city, searching for the dungeon entrance. Along the way, Hunter saw soldiers demanding bribes for evacuation tickets. Enraged, he confronted them. When they refused, he took one of them out. The other quickly complied, allowing civilians to board. Satisfied, Hunter rejoined his team. They reached a ruined church, where ancient tunnels led to the machine. Inside, they found a 60-story elevator shaft. Kim Woo stayed behind to cover them as they rappelled down. Hunter and Samuel descended first, but the monk became so engrossed in the chronicles that he fell. Luckily, the ground was only a few meters below, but mutants were waiting. A fierce battle broke out. Then, mutants flooded into the elevator cabin, overloading it. The structure collapsed, taking Kim with it. As the dust settled, Kim's hand emerged from the rubble, holding a grenade with no pin. The second explosion wiped out the remaining mutants. Kim was gone. Duval mourned his loss, but they had to keep moving. Consulting the chronicles, Samuel finally found the tunnel entrance. Sneaking through, they saw hundreds of mutants dragging prisoners to the machine. Among them, Nathan. Hunter couldn't let his friend turn into a monster. Despite Steiner's warning, he rushed to save him. Nate is concerned about his family more than anything else. When he hears they're going to Mars, he calms down. Hunter wants to give him first aid and get him out of the cave, but Nate has only lasted this long because of his concern for his family. In reality, he's already almost gone. With his last strength, Nathan asks Hunter to tell his family he loves them. Realizing the situation is hopeless, Hunter puts his friend out of his misery. Suppressing his emotions, he sets out to honor Nathan's wishes and save humanity. The rest of the team crosses a narrow bridge above the mutant path in silence. Suddenly, a pebble falls, the noise attracting the monster's attention. Startled, Steiner stumbles and barely manages to grab hold of the edge. He carries the bomb and tries to pass it to his friends, but he loses his grip and falls. Mutants immediately attack him. Samuel believes they should leave Steiner behind, but the team refuses. They jump in, bravely engaging the monsters. After all, compassion and mutual support are what make them human. They fight fiercely, but the monsters overwhelm them. Most of the team is badly wounded, and Samuel doesn't survive. The creatures drag everyone except Severian to their machine. Hunter arrives too late, finding only the charred remains and Jesus' dog tag. Shocked, she even breaks her vow of silence. Hunter picks up the tattered holy book and asks her to read it to find the way forward, but she doesn't understand it. She just believes in it. This angers Hunter, and he repeats Nathan's words. Determined, they move toward the center of the cave and set explosives throughout the mutant lair. The blast takes out many creatures. Hunter rushes to free the still-living Steiner and Duval, who were moments away from being thrown into a rotating mechanism in the pit. The machine appears to transform people into mutants after a full rotation. The wounded regain consciousness, ready to fight. Severian and Duval tie themselves to a rope and descend into the machine's heart while Hunter and Steiner hold it from above. But after the explosion, the tunnel exit gets blocked by debris, and the creatures start breaking through. Steiner drops the rope and charges into battle, sacrificing himself. Hunter struggles to hold on, but gets pulled to the pit's edge. Steiner detonates a grenade, taking out the monsters, but Hunter loses his grip and falls onto the machine's wheel. Ropes latch onto his arms and legs, pulling him into a steampunk-like mechanism designed to create mutants. He's exposed to radiation and implanted with several chips. The last chip is about to be inserted into his head, but he resists with all his strength. He barely manages to free his hands and disable the mechanism, but shutting down the entire system is another challenge. At this moment, Severian and Duval reach the machine's core. They mistake Hunter for a mutant at first, but he hasn't fully transformed. His consciousness remains intact. The friends reunite on the platform, but the mutants sense trouble and charge at them. Severian and Duval hold them off, while Hunter tries to calibrate the machine and arm the ancient bomb. However, he doesn't know where to place the detonator. Worse, he still lacks the key to trigger the explosion. As he examines the Chronicle's drawings, the mutated Samuel approaches Severian. Unable to believe her mentor has turned, she hesitates to fight him. Meanwhile, Duval dies in battle with another mutant. Severian still can't bring herself to finish him and gives up, allowing the mutant to kill her. As she falls, her sword drops onto a stone slab. Hunter and Samuel face off in a final duel. The former monk is stronger and faster, making the fight difficult. But Hunter outmaneuvers him, knocking him onto the machine and using his fallen friend's dog tags to finish him off. At that moment, Hunter realizes Severian's sword isn't just a weapon, it's the key to destroying the machine. He inserts it and takes out the last mutant. The entire structure transforms into a spaceship preparing for takeoff. Suddenly, Samuel regains his humanity. He urges Hunter to believe and jump before it's too late. Trusting him, Hunter leaps off the platform, landing safely in the water below. He reaches the shore as the ship breaks free from the dungeon and soars into space. And that's how a faithless warrior saved humanity from an ancient evil. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.